Hello.
What is up, YouTube?
Did
We
you
are.
know that Walter Davis has a YouTube channel, bro?
No, I didn't. We should go check it out.
I just subscribed. You should too. There you go. We should start putting Easter eggs at the beginning so people go back and start watching.
Yeah. If you want to be entered in the prize.
Yeah. Here's a contest for 10 ounces of silver.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. 10 ounces of fine white china will be given away.
Ooh.
It's Mikasa crystal kind. Yeah, I think we should put. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start putting. I'll do the giveaways in the middle, or we'll just pick a random thing to do the giveaway.
Right. We'll set an egg timer at the beginning, and all of a sudden it dings halfway through the chat.
Well, we'll have to figure out because you don't want give it away every time the same. Oh, you know why I couldn't find Walter Davis? Because every time I looked him up, it was a basketball player.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me. Hold on a sec.
I've been trying to find his link. That's why.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
Go on
I
though.
have it here somewhere. Hold on.
Awesome. Carry on.
It'll take me a half a second to figure it out. Channel. There's
Whatever
a lot
happened.
of channels called Walter Davis too. You just got to look for the truck.
So I wonder. Let's see. What is Knife Thursday still around? Are any of those guys still around?
I don't know. I never subscribed to Knife Thursday, so I wouldn't know.
Oh well.
Where's Walter Davis's link?
They still have 2,000 subscribers, but it looks like the last thing they posted was 5 years ago.
Yeah, there's been a lot like that, like Haas USMC, bro.
Oh,
I was doing a search. I forget what it was. I think it was some security thing that you were talking about, and so I did a search on it. And his videos came up, and I'm like, holy shit, I remember the Haas USMC, and then his little intro played, Pink Pony, motherfucker. I'm like, oh my god!
Yeah. All the oldies but goodies, right?
Yeah. They haven't put shit out in forever either. I hate that shit, man. YouTube fucking sucks. They've taken a lot of these people and just made them not want to do it anymore. And they do that by design, bro. And I don't know if that's why I don't really do it very much anymore either, but when you take away the monetary incentive, it doesn't really help.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got a lot of subscribers and stuff, anyways. And then he went, big time, I guess.
Yeah, but now he's dark, bro.
Well, yeah, because he's probably teaching at some school or something. Usually they snatch people up and try to get you to come do stuff. Right. I'm trying to look. They took all the stuff down. Oh, what's up, bitches? Do you remember that dude? I forget his name. I love that guy.
Bitches.
He used to come on and say, "What's up, bitches?" And for my contest, he cut a pumpkin up with a fucking chainsaw that was on fire. Why can't I remember the dude's name?
Long hair, dude.
Yeah, long 13 hair.
Yeah, long 13 hair. Yeah,
what happened to him?
I don't know. I thought he was still around too. I mean, I've seen him doing things for a while. Hold on. Now we gotta do the searches.
Yeah. So I think if I can find it, I don't know. But like there may be a floating around cut, gut, and carve CGC fucking knife thing floating around, and if there is, that has the my production in it, where I actually built zombies and then ran them over to get to my kids to have the contest. But I don't know.
Well, it looks like Long 13 Hair hasn't put up a video in 3 years. But his last one was a tattoo video where he got a new tat. There's his link to his channel. Go check out Long 13 Hair. Tell his ass to get going again, bro.
Yeah, tell him to say, "What's up, bitches?"
Right.
September, man.
No.
7 years ago was that the cut, gut, and carve. Remember, we had a guy. Well, I say we, but I had a guy that did an underwater video. Like, he cut the pumpkin underwater in a dive suit. There was all kinds of crazy fucks back then. I wish I could find that. Let me see. Yo, that would be a good video to watch too. It just never ceases to amaze me. The creativity of people.
Well, shit, man. I guess if we give away a big enough prize, we could probably.
Oh, I just gave away some knives.
What?
I just gave away some knives, and people were doing that.
Oh, back then, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People, a lot of people got burnt out, man, with YouTube. I mean, it's one thing to take away the monetization from the bigger channels, right? I didn't really experience it too much because by that time I wasn't making that much money on YouTube. I was making maybe $100 a month, and then that went down to like $100 every 6 months. But some people were making a shit ton on there, obviously. So that affected them. Other people, what affected me wasn't the money as much as it was the fight every damn time of the video. Is it going to get monetized? Is it not? Is it really even fucking worth it, or is it not? Because really, how much money am I going to be making on this video anyway? And then, after I finally get it up, even if it's not making any money, then they're going to copyright strike that shit because of some music in the background, or they hear the gunshot sounds, and then they're going to do their little shady shit on that as well. And you also see other people leaving. Like, we just talked about 2 people here now that we haven't seen in years, and that shit happens quite a bit, and it just makes everybody else kind of like, well, I guess I don't want it either, I don't know.
Like Senric7, he went to Instagram. I don't think he does YouTube videos anymore.
Yeah.
Grumpy A-hole. Keybar was on here whenever they were just starting out. Juju1313, Axel Clown, Chris 6446H, Snoochie, X Boochies, Cendric77, Nuclear Clown, Blood Then Flowers, No Go Mike. These are all people that used to hang out. In one chat or another, Prepper Chickie, she's gone. I think she still does.
Hempseed Addict is still around, apparently.
Yeah. Swedish Paracord Nut, 7 years ago, did a VR for the Cut, Gut, and Carve Challenge. Sergio 45 ACP. Tony, if you're listening, that's who turned me on to the Serrano peppers. Like, he used to make videos on how to make stuff out of those chili peppers. I couldn't remember his name the other day, but that's who it was. Sergio 45 ACP. Grumpy A-hole. That was a funny channel.
Liberty Night
Wow.
License.
There's all kinds.
Good morning. Eastwood Farms. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We're going down memory lane here. Benny Big Guns. Swedish Paracord Nut. Tatty Boy 2. Blade Ramble. Oh, there is one. CGC Showdown. Hollow Wicked Pumpkin VR to Southern Indiana Preppers.
Nice.
My Keybar did it.
Oh.
I have to add that to my playlist to rewatch.
Yeah, every time I put in my tag, you know, in the search bar, I'll find a lot of VRs to contests that I was running and shit. It's always kind of fun to watch again.
Shenanigan. What was the other guy? He used to do the white elephant giveaway for Christmas.
Mm.
I wish I could find Long 13 Hairs because we would play it.
I have his channel up there. Do you need his actual video link?
I'm looking through the CGC ones. Sherman 614 was a good channel.
I'm trying to remember.
Do you remember? He taught like knife fighting and stuff, but I forget his name. He's an Asian guy, if you're allowed to say that anymore.
I know there's a guy in Arizona that was like a kung fu dude that was in our stuff for a while.
Exacto. Shit. These are some good channels, man. Everybody's gone. Mrs. Miss Pumpkins. I don't know who that one is. Lionhearted 86. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What was you're looking for his video response to your contest? That was the what contest?
The cut, gut, and carve contest in 2012. Good morning, all. Here is a link to the cut, gut, and carve contest that we sponsored way back many, many moons ago.
Didn't he use that in his intros after that?
Yeah, he's a wild man. Yeah. He's a wild man. He was always going to Sturgis and making videos of it. I missed the man. There's yesterday's counts of the virus. There's today.
Long 13 hairs balls. Looks like he took down all of his contest entry videos. That's what that is.
Good morning, Toretto Girl.
Yeah, he painted the machetes with zombie paint.
Yeah. What was the guy? There was a guy from Louisiana that, or maybe South Florida that, Hornet Fixer used to hang around with, and he'd always do the green screen stuff. And he did the one where the guy, he showed the video of the guy chewing the guy's face off on the sidewalk and the green screen behind him. Oh, and then he went out and shot the Hornady zombie rounds. Oh, man.
I won a Long 13 Hairs contest, and I have one of his first ever green painted skull magazines. And that's how I knew that painting a PMag would be problematic because it makes it sticky. After a while, that thing is still sticky as well. I don't know about all the knives that he painted back in the day, but yeah. Yeah, it looks like he took down all of his contest entry videos. He had a lot of contests himself, but I didn't see anything about your contest or anybody else's contest, to be honest. Because he used to enter everybody's contest, bro. It was a guarantee.
Yeah, because he was funny. I missed that. I mean, he had, like, everybody would be anticipating that he was going to win anyways.
Yeah, he won a lot. Well, it helps when you enter just about every contest that's going on. There is a group. There is a new group of people coming up, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I don't know. I think we come up in waves. But, I mean, like, Patriot in the Dark, he's part of the new group, I think. And then there's, when I did that 6 Guns You're Proud to Own video, I went back and I looked at all the other people, you know, and I found a whole bunch of new gun channels, bro. They're all doing what we did back in the day. Having their little contests, having their little, you know, tag videos and shit like that. I'm like, it's like a whole new generation coming up. You know what I mean?
Stan says, "Good morning, Stan." He says there's a big dip in gold and silver this morning.
Ooh.
Oil fell apart yesterday. If you didn't know, Tactical Tony brought that up whenever we were checking out. 80% drop in oil prices yesterday.
80%. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was it because nobody's going anywhere? Because of the stupid fucking virus, you think?
Nah, everything's volatile. Everything's volatile right now.
Yeah. Market's trying to find a place to settle.
Remember that news article I was talking about from India?
No.
You can finally see the mountains.
Oh, India. Yeah, apparently the people in India can finally see the mountains because
because of smog.
lifted.
Yeah. All right. Shut
It's
down
been
industry.
like 10 years apparently or more. So this is the silver and the gold. So yes, it did dip down a little bit. $14.82 an ounce and $16.82 an ounce for gold. Not as low as it has been, but
Oh,
definitely.
Stan says it was in the negative. I didn't follow up with it. I had work to do, so I have fences to put up, and so.
Well, it cost them what? It cost them like $2 and something a gallon to process that even into gasoline, don't it?
Good morning, Walter Davis.
Hey, Walter.
We were just discussing you earlier.
Yep, I even linked to your channel because I didn't know you actually put out content. I apologize.
But we like your costume that you used to go into the store now. People freak out because you didn't have your mask on, and then
All right.
when
I
you
went ahead and remedied that situation. So you got a new subscriber. Sorry for the delay on that.
Stan says it dropped out around 9 a.m. EST, CST, or PST. New look for shopping, right? I'm liking it. Maybe I think I'm going to just start wearing the shemagh everywhere I go, and or hell, I might even just get a full like a airsoft mask and run tubes and shit out of it, so I don't have to no more facial recognition here. That's for sure.
No shit.
Walter says Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. We were probably on another tangent. But Tactical Tony came in and told us about it, so I don't remember if anybody else did. Right? Hey, I'm liking it. You used to not be able to wear a mask into a bank, but now you can. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Next thing I can have an alternate identity. There we go. No one will know. They'll just call me the Masked Man. The Masked Man came into the bar, to the Walmart.
What kind of mask was he wearing?
Yeah.
You're going to have to describe the mask instead of the face.
But I'll have to make one that, I'll have to 3D print one so that, it has some really cool, gnarly stuff on it.
Right.
But it'll be
like
in the
Green Goblin mask.
Yeah. Or the Jim Carrey mask that makes you do crazy shit. So I figure shortly that people will be getting shot for wearing masks in public by the police. Because once this is over and you're allowed to wear a mask, the Lord and Savior, Dr. Fauci says everyone should wear a mask. Then police will end up shooting you because you didn't remove your mask. Dugout hockey mask with a little work. Yeah.
It's very aerated.
I like a good old hockey mask, especially if you've got a little red dot, or a red slash here and a red slash there. Got the little or a Michael Myers mask, that'd be great. But you have to have filters on it, so.
There you go. That might be a cool little logo to make. A hockey mask with a gas mask on.
I'm digging the old World War II flight mask. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And the one that's up in the right-hand corner of the or left-hand corner. I don't know what it looks like on your guys' screen, but
It's my right hand. Yeah.
yeah, I really like to have one of those cool pimp jackets and that mask. You know, that'd be great. And I would definitely roll up in the store with that because it's got the little bag at the bottom that holds the oxygen, and so when you breathe in,
Yeah.
it moves. It'd be cool as shit. All right, so I posted up a link to the companion planning guide for everybody's reference there already. So if you need to know what plants well with yours, check it out. We'll go over to El Drudge report. This morning, in North Korea leader Kim Jong-un in grave danger after surgery. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night on West S chat, and there was like back and forth. Or he was in danger. You know, he's not. So I don't know if he is or if he's not, but apparently he had some sort of surgery.
He's in grave danger after undergoing a previous surgery, according to U.S. official with direct knowledge. A second source familiar with intelligence told the Clinton News Network that the U.S. had been closely monitoring reports of Kim's health. Recently missed a celebration of his grandfather's birthday on April 15th, which raised speculation about his well-being. He had been seen 4 days before that at a government meeting. Yeah. As you know, North Korea is a very closed society, right?
I thought he was like holier than thou, and he doesn't even poop. You know, so
right. So he can't be done.
Poop. He can't be dying.
He had reportedly received a cardiovascular system procedure on April 12th because of his excessive smoking, obesity, and overwork.
Overwork.
Yeah, he's overworked and underpaid, because of all the stuff that he has to deal with.
All right.
It's hard making nuclear missiles, man, that don't go boom. Causes a lot of anxiety. I got canisters or bird mash from the Black Plague. Yeah, those would be badass too. Oh, that'd be dope. Like an old what are they called? What are they called again? Let's see. Bird mask.
One's the long beak nose.
Yeah. You know who does that? SOE, John Willis. Like he has a bunch of those. Like he does videos, with all of his guys wearing them, and they got axes and shit. It's pretty out there. Pretty far out there. He has a lot of those cool masks, though. I will say, for sure. He's a collector of weird stuff too. So
that's cool.
Oil price lowest in history, according to 16 cents a gallon. It's showing a picture of 16 cents a gallon. 6 gallons for 99 cents, tax included. And I guess that's back in the 40s. States burn through unemployment cash. Big firms grab small business funds. Yeah, that's so that's a fucked up mess too. You can't if you have under 500 employees, or is it 500 or under at a location, you can get a small business grant. If you use 75% of the fund to pay your employees, and the other $25 is liquidity cash to keep the business going, then you can claim that. So that's not really a small business loan or a grant, but that's what all the big businesses are doing. They're grabbing up the stuff that they meant for the mom and pops through technicalities. So all the small businesses that it was meant for are getting screwed because they don't get, and they've already went through all the money, which is great, right? They already went through all the money that was supposed to help small business.
Right.
Sure, no one wants to hear me blow my nose. Biden to pick Michelle Obama for running mate. Lord have mercy.
What? No, that's gotta be fake news. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna bring up the link and we'll look at it.
Oh, come on.
Blah 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 blubber and Biden is gonna pick
Oh shit, Obama. He's too right now to this party. I mean, the things that Obama ran on would not work in today's democratic socialist situation. I don't know.
With the Democratic primary settled, Reverend Al, I'm full of shit, Sharpton, says he now includes political consideration in his daily prayers. God, please let Michelle Obama be Joe Biden's running mate.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would be kind of strange, wouldn't it? Your vice president is now the president, and your wife is his vice.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy, smelly, your hair, Joe Biden.
Yeah. Hey, pretty lady.
I don't think I would be okay with that if I was Obama.
So Stan says, need one that looks like the old Plague Doctor mask. There's a company that still makes them. Plague Doctor gas mask. Awesome. So go figure. The big companies grabbed all the cash from the little guys. Yeah. That's what happens when you get a rush to give people money. The government just says, oh, whoever, and of course the big companies employ people to go out and find those grants. So yeah, the little man that owns the coffee shop down the road, he can't get any funding because it's already been raped and pillaged by the big corporate conglomerate. There's Facebook wars going on daily. I don't get on Facebook. Very rarely do I get on Facebook. I have one for Irish USMC Vet, but people on there are like, well, you should shop local. Well, people are so stupid to think that their local Walmart is local. It's not. So, yeah. Sisters die 102 years apart. One from Spanish flu, the other one from cerveza bug. 102 years apart. Damn. How that... So the lady, a 96-year-old Texas woman, died from cerveza bug last week, on more than a century after her older sister died from the Spanish flu, according to the obituary and media reports. Selma Esther Ryan lived in Austin, Texas, in an assisted living center for the past 3 years after previously living in San Antonio. Her daughter, Vicki Spencer, told KXAN she got a call on April 3rd that her mother was sick along with 4 other residents at the center. Over the next 5 days, I watched through the window as she got sicker and sicker, Spencer said. It was hard not to be with her. Her 96th birthday was April 11th. Our family gathered outside her window, but it was obvious that something terrible was about to happen to her. So on April 14th, her death on April 14th came 102 years after her older sister, which was 5 years old, named Esther, died from the Spanish flu, according to her obituary. Esther is one of the least 50 million people who have died during the 1918 pandemic, according to the Center for Disease Controls and Prevention. Well, I'll be damned. It's crazy. That's how the Miami Herald. I'll put a link up for that. Stan says the company that makes those masks is out of Brookside, New Jersey. Shit.
Which one's the plague mask?
Yeah, the plague mask with the filters on them.
Nice.
They're still taking off everything on eBay and reseller sites like that. So I don't know how anybody's going to be able to get masks to work, much less, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't buy cartridge filters anywhere because of this. So even if you were doing, asbestos mitigation or anything, I mean, you still have to buy filters on a regular. So I don't know. And I know companies are not going to pay, $300 or $400 for a set of filters whenever they're $30.
Right.
Apparently, Saudi super tankers are stranded because they can't sell the oil because it's so low. Home sales drop as sellers take properties off the market. Well, yeah, you don't want people coming into your house. That's kind of a, a dumbass move to bring people into your house.
Yeah.
Apparently, Joe Biden said, "I'd take her in a heartbeat."
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you would, buddy. It'd be the first president to be kicked out of office for sexually assaulting the vice
The
president.
vice president.
Give her a roofie, guys. Give her a roofie.
Oh my goodness.
Blubbering Joe Biden is, what in the hell? My coffee didn't work. No.
Oh no.
I
No
didn't put enough.
fancy thing didn't work.
No, not that one. I'm not cooking on the stove.
Oh.
I actually put it in the coffee pot and it didn't brew because I did not add enough water. I was not prepared, damn it. So what's going on in everybody's world today since I'm over here trying to recook my coffee?
Let's see.
Anybody have any local reports that they would like to share today?
Stan says, have you tried a contractor's website like Ackland's or Granger?
No. I just assumed they were out. I still have probably 5 packages of cartridges. However, if you've ever used respirators, which I'm sure you have, they only last for so long. So I'm currently doing farm work and not a lot of metalsmithing or blacksmithing right now. So, but
Walter
it's
Davis
interesting.
says, I'm sure Joe would. I heard that Michael wears Old Spice. Joe loves good smells.
I'll never forget the picture of her with her bulge in the front of her pants, and everybody swore she had a wang.
Oh, it's not just the one, man. There's a whole list of those now.
Oh yeah, I just seen the one.
Not to mention, even Barack once made a gaffe and said, "Yeah, me and Michael like to do this. I mean, Michelle." And I was like, "Oh,
what?
Freudian slip."
So, Fortune magazine did a, I guess a video and a debt. Let's see here. Sorry. So they're saying that if you're under 50 and you work, you're going to pay for this bailout. So yeah, somebody has to pay for it.
It ain't free money, baby.
Yeah. So that just goes to prove what we've been talking about. There's the article. So yeah, somebody has to pay for this. So in paying for it, you're incentivizing people not to go to work, especially if they come up with this $2,000 a month deal that they've been talking about. It's been floating around.
Right.
People that would work are not going to because they can't make that much. So, I think that's going to be a vicious cycle that's going to be hard to break once they get into, if they implement that. Because people that don't want to work, or that may very well want to work, but you can make more money staying at home, will why would you go and go to work whenever you don't have to? Yeah, I mean, seriously, think about that. You know, if they're, I don't know what actual senators are trying to put out that, but think about it. If you can only go out and make, let's say, $1,500 a month, because you work in fast food, or you know, maybe you just have a low paying job because you didn't, you know, aspire to do much else in life, and you always just stuck with the minimal. And you only make $1,500, but you can stay home and make $2,000 tax free. I mean, come on now,
Right.
that's a no brainer. You know, there's already people scamming the Social Security system to get Social Security before 65. So come on now. And they were happy. They're real happy living off, you know, $700, $800, $1,000 a month. So I mean, hell, that's more than that's $1,000 more. So those people may decide to switch from Social Security to and then I don't even know what's in the bill. So I mean, it could give people that were on Social Security income or whatever. I think is what it's called. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but if you don't work and you haven't worked and you get a Social Security check for being fake crazy or some shit, you know, and they get $2,000. I mean, come on, you're gonna have a lot more people on some really. Woman cited for violating stay-at-home order has a huge yard sale. Didn't you guys have a yard sale in the middle of the apocalypse?
Yeah, we did.
Bro, right, but that was before the lockdown, though, right?
Oh yeah, it was way before then. But even then, it wouldn't stop me.
Yeah, the Idaho woman.
To sell, I'd do it.
The Idaho cop says woman violated the stay-at-home order. No, she didn't. She was at home.
Yep.
And as long as she didn't have more than 10 people at her yard sale at one time, and it was an open-air market. I'll check that out. Thanks, Stan.
Yeah. I know a lot of Idahoans were fighting in this shit. They were like one of the first ones that's like, fuck this shit, we ain't doing it. I'd be interested in that.
Guns Coast to Coast says he plans on quitting any day. East Wind Farm says hello to Guns. And Guns, you probably make more than $2,000 a week, buddy. You sound like you have a highly technical job. So there's a lot of people doing better. They get the tax return money, government cheese check. It's a good month. Also, tax returns are coming in. So everybody might be doing all right. Yeah. Yeah. Usually in farming, you don't get a tax return unless you have a really bad year. And then you have to file insurance claim on your crop loss, which last year was a really bad year due to flooding. So it is what it is. That's why you have crop insurance, I guess. Well, I know that's what it is, and I guess. But so usually you break even.
I'm surprised that's a thing.
Crop. Well, I mean, and then they only pay 20% of the actual loss. So if you lost $1 million, 20% of that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't seem much worth it.
I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. I don't have a large enough farm right now.
Depends on how much you're paying into it. I mean, insurance is a scam anyway, you know?
Of course. I'm saying I don't know firsthand because I don't have crop insurance. I mean, it'd be pointless for me to have because it would pay 20%. So, you know, most things I buy, most companies I deal with are they'll have a 1-year replacement plan. So if you buy from them and after that first year, so the next season, if the plants are dead, they'll usually send them to you for free, minus shipping, which is only fair. They're going to give you a free product to replace the one that they sent you that died. So pay the shipping. But that's what I do mostly. You know, if it's seed loss, crop loss, you know, it is what it is. Just suck it up and move on. But of course, I don't have 1 million acres, So.
All right.
So it wouldn't be cost effective for me to have. Now the business insurance, yeah, you keep that because if somebody trips and falls at your out fruit stand, nut stand, yeah, you have to have a different kind of insurance. Because inevitably somebody will trip and fall on something or slip in some mud. I mean, you are on a farm, but
Oh yeah, I mean it's good to have homeowners insurance. I would imagine it's even more if you have a farm with heavy equipment.
Tom Brady was thrown out of closed Tampa Park after he was caught exercising.
Oh my goodness, the horror. Somebody actually was exercising.
Mm-hmm. New York City weed party raided. More than 40 people busted.
Wow. Wow.
Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod are going to purchase the New York Mets. If anybody cares.
Yeah.
I don't think... So, hey, right now's the time to buy a sports team. What team would you buy?
Oh yeah, no doubt, huh?
Nobody wants them because there's no money being made.
No. They're talking about having the baseball season without fans. I'm like, are you kidding me? Baseball. Can you imagine watching a baseball game on TV and there's nobody in the stands at all?
There's a white paper out apparently that says you should yank the crank to curb loneliness. Saudis executed a record number in 2019. Interesting article. I'll post that one up there. No, that's the Idahoan. Sorry. That's a repeat. Why didn't Saudi Arabia record? So according to BBC, Saudi Arabia executed a record number of people in 2009, according to Amnesty International. 184 people were put to death. Despite a decline of executions worldwide, Amnesty International says, the number of executions has doubled in Iraq to 100 last year, while Iran remained the second most prolific executioner after China, who killed 251 people through execution. All right. I see. I'm internationally dumb. I didn't know they still allowed executions. Human rights groups tallies does not include China, where the numbers of executions believed to be in the thousands remains a state secret. It also notes so there was 251 public executions, and they think there was thousands more in quietness in the back room. Saudi Arabia executed a dance trope attacker, sentenced 5 to death for Khashoggi murder. It's an inhumane punishment, according to Amnesty International, to put somebody to death. There's no credible evidence that deters crime or more than prison terms. A large majority of countries recognize this and encourage to see the executions continue to fall worldwide. However, a small number of countries defined the global trend away from the death penalty by increasingly resorting to executions. Iran did 251. Saudi Arabia did 184. Iraq did 100. Egypt did 32. U.S. did 22. Pakistan did 14. Somalia did 12. South Sudan did 11. Yemen 7. Singapore 4. Bahrain 3. Japan 3. Belarus did 2. Bangladesh did 2. Botswana did 1. And Sudan did 1. And that's the official data from the BBC.
Botswana.
Botswana.
I didn't hear Canada in there. I guess Canada does do the death penalty.
I don't know. Ask the Stan man. He will. Stan will know. He is our Canadian connection. If you do not know, dogs are barking, so I checked that out.
With him in the house, we're international.
Right, and then all we need is the Swedish paracord nut, and we'll have Europe covered.
All right.
Ah, come. Soak. Soak. Hi, pretty girl. How we doing, baby? What'd you see? What'd you see? What'd you see? Good job, baby.
Uh-oh.
The puppies. The puppies. Good puppies. You're a good girl. Yeah. Seats. 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 Nope.
Trump is going to sign an executive order to suspend all immigration.
Yes, I did see that yesterday. Nope. Canada coddles criminals. If you've ever caught any of the lockup abroad, holy shit, some of those prisons are off the chain.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Which is why many U.S. criminals run to Canada. We won't extradite them for the death penalty either. Interesting. The guy before me was there for his 33rd driving without a license. Oh, you had to go to court?
33. Holy shit. That's okay.
Wow.
If they implement the real ID, I'll be right there with them. Fuck that. I have a free right to travel. Just because you want to collect tax revenue doesn't mean I need to buy
that was only meant. Licensing was only meant for to hire vehicles, like commercial truck drivers and stuff. It wasn't meant for the normal everyday person that was traveling. It was only for businesses. Mm-hmm. And then they decided, oh, hey, we can get everybody. It's a pretty interesting how they coaxed us all into believing it back in the day that, oh, it's a vanity, and if your car gets stolen, we'll have it on record. And then they turned it into, oh, well, you need a license to have the plates. And then once they had everybody, and then registration, Puerto Rico.
Nickels and dimes.
There's more debt drama in Puerto Rico. Wall Street warns of more Caribbean debt drama. Boy with cerveza bug did not transmit disease to more than 170 people that he was in contact with. Was he in a bubble? Was it the boy in the bubble? Does anybody remember the boy in the bubble?
Oh my goodness. The movie?
No, it was a real kid.
I guess.
A case of a symptomatic 9-year-old suggests children may be less likely to pass on said cerveza bug. A 9-year-old boy who contracted the virus in eastern France did not pass the virus on despite coming in contact with more than 170 people. According to research, suggests that the children may not be major spreaders of said cerveza bug. So apparently the boy got it from a businessman who tested positive after attending a sales conference in Singapore in January. And he passed it on to 10 British adults and a family of 5 in a chalet in the ski resort of Contamines, Joie, in Haute Savoy region after flying in from London. Yeah, I'll just post that up because I can't pronounce any of those fucking foreign names. Walter Davis says, I remember my mother used that as a threat against us when we did not behave. Oop, wrong one. Stan, they should give Stan, they should just give home a license so we will stop driving without license charges. Give him, right, right. Well, just think of all the money that, the taxpayers are expending by having this guy come in and out of court. He's obviously a nuisance, and if they're not going to do anything to him, why even cite him?
They'll put him in jail, or they'll fine him. And if he's doing it because he doesn't want to follow the rules, then freedom ain't free, and you're gonna have to pay the piper. And they make a lot of money on those fines. I mean, it's like $1,000 for driving without a license.
Well, here, after the third time, it's a felony.
Oh, wow.
Everything turns into a felony after the third time, it seems like these days. But then they can get more money out of you, because then, they can issue a high-risk warrant, send out the SWAT team, Apparently there's a depressed tiger that walks in endless circles at a zoo. So the tigers are getting bored of the zompocalypse.
There's nobody coming in and looking at us anymore, right?
So turn it loose. Turn it loose.
Yeah, see, Stan even says he pays the fines whenever he gets caught. So he's paying more to be free than he would to be a slave. Which a lot of people don't understand that, but I totally get it. You are paying for your freedom. Which, they like that. They love it, because they're going to make a shit ton of money off of you. In fact, I'm sure they're watching that guy, just waiting for him to drive again so they can get him again. He's going to keep doing it, so we might as well keep getting the money.
Well, it depends on how sparsely he is. It's populated out there too. I mean, hell, he could drive around for years, it sounds like, and not get caught.
Right.
Oh, Indonesia is holding public floggings despite fears of the cerveza bug. What? Yo. You got to be kidding me. What do you got to do to get flogged? They
make a lot of money out of him for fines. That was over a 15-year span. 15-year span. He just keeps driving without one, apparently. He pays the fines whenever he gets caught. He was an old guy, and that was 7 years ago.
6 people were publicly flogged in Indonesia's conservative ACEH province on Tuesday for breaking local Islamic law, despite widespread bans on mass gatherings over cerveza bug fears. Officials insisted they followed social distancing rules, but vowed that the global pandemic wouldn't stand in the way of doling out justice. To comply with current conditions, we are trying to cut unnecessary procedures like the unusual opening speech, said Safradi, the official responsible for Sharia punishments in provincial capital of Banda, B-A-N-D-A, Banda, A-C-E-H. We just carried out the flogging directly to make it simpler. Whipping will still go on, but we're limiting the number of people involved. Added Safradi, who goes by one name. Most of the offenders whipped Tuesday were not wearing protective face masks, and the images from the scene suggest some participants came into close contact with each other. ACEH public whippings, widely criticized by rights groups, can attract hundreds of spectators. Hey, honey, let's get in the car and go out and watch this guy get his ass beat with a cane. But only about a dozen onlookers turned out inside a parking lot where 4 men were flogged 40 times each for drinking alcohol.
Wow.
Religion of peace. An unmarried couple caught together in a hotel room were also given over 24 lashes from the rattan cane. ACEH, on the western tip of Sumatra, is the only region in Muslim-majority Indonesia that imposes Islamic law. The province allows whipping from a range of charges, including gambling, adultery, drinking alcohol, and having gay or premarital sex. Despite the painful punishment, one man whipped for drinking alcohol, who also served a 3-month jail term for the offense, said he was relieved to be free to join his family for the fasting month of Ramadan, which starts this week. I got bored in prison, and now I'm finally a free man, he said. Ramadan is coming, and I couldn't imagine fasting in prison. Well, fasting anywhere is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Fast here.
They have better food in prison or something?
I don't know. Maybe there. I don't know. I doubt that they feed you there.
All right.
So there's already posted that up. East Wind Farms. Says I spent a day behind bars for driving without a license. Rebel, go. There's the link to the flogging if you're interested in that. Watching some grown man get his ass beat by another grown man with a cane. The police are caning people in some countries. Go and break up groups with their big ass canes.
I know.
Can you imagine a cop carrying a cane, trying to cane a group of people in the U.S.? Yeah.
Yeah, they do that all the time, but it's a billy club, not a cane.
It's an asp. It's a sling baton. Come on now.
Whatever you want to call it, it's a big ass stick.
They did away. Well, they're metal, but they did away with the wooden ones a long time ago.
The metal ones are so much better at cracking open skull.
Well, they're collapsible and they're easier to carry. So,
Right.
I mean,
as long as it's not more inconvenient for the cop.
right? Yeah, you got to convenience them. My grandmother had one. It was so funny. It's funny that my grandmother was a police officer, but because she's my grandmother. You think, hey, grandma's not gonna crack heads. But yeah, she was. She retired. So yeah, she had all that cool stuff, and I got to play with it as a child. And I was really good at getting out of the handcuffs with that bobby pin. So yeah. The debt is swelling to World War II heights. No, really, nobody's working, and we're printing money. What do you think?
Economy's great, bro.
I think we already covered that. Yep.
I mean, look at gas. You can go anywhere you want right now.
Yeah, except you'll get pulled over and cited for your $1,200 to be given back.
You save money on gas
to the local government. WHO is saying that there's no sign of lab manipulation of the virus. Okay. Well,
didn't Trump dump the World Health Organization?
Yeah.
2 weeks back or a week back?
Yeah, he's getting ready to dump Fauci, is what I heard too. But quarantine violators are being locked in haunted houses. Oh, I like this. We gotta look at that one for sure. While that's loading, I will post up the send your congressman a letter because Nancy Pelosi is still plotting to put gun control bills in there.
Apparently, I don't know if you watched any of the videos about it, but a lot of people signed that petition that you sent me from gun owners of America, and I guess Congress is actually doing something about it. So we'll see.
I just posted that up again, that link. So I text messaged it to a bunch of people, but there's a link to it. Click on it and go. They use guns more than canes for what I see. I've heard them come out before. Got up from the fight and went right away. Bar fight. I need to go hang out with Stan. Stan's a riot. Stan sounds like my kind of people. When I was in Cali, that was what we did. Marines go out and get a little tipsy, and then you got a bunch of Navy guys or Army guys or whatever, and we'd all get into a brawl, and then we just go on about our business because nobody snitched back then.
Right.
Actually, lately I could see cops caning in the U.S. I feel like there'd be a lot of ass beatings going on if you started whipping somebody with a cane. But a cop grabbed his baton one time. I told him he better shoot me because I was going to kick his ass if he took a swing at me with it. He chilled out after that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, if they don't control the situation, they try to use their command present voice and, try to maintain control of the situation. And once they lose that control, then they realize they're not the king dingling. So
Yep.
I did an arrest as a security guard. The plainclothes showed up and told me to get off of the guy. Told him go fuck himself. He showed up, showed his badge and a gun, and got up right away. I was 20 at the time, I think. Yeah. I just yeah. Like I said, I've had good and bad. So fortunately for me, I live in a rural community and everybody thinks alike for the most part. So you don't usually have a lot of that ignorance that you do in the big cities. We don't.
So much ignorance, bro. So much ignorance.
Oh, I know.
I've been pulled over twice recently.
Recently, damn you.
Not recently.
They're not even pulling people over.
This
Point the stingers out,
quite
run
a
the
few
roads.
years back, but there was 2 different times I was pulled over with a gun, on my hip. And,
Okay.
The one time, both times, I got my hands on the steering wheel and I announced before they even asked. I'm like, I have a concealed weapon on me. And so the first time that ever happened, everything went great. He's like, okay, no problem. Just keep your hands on the wheel. And I ain't got no issue with it. That was the highway patrol. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably like 6 months later. It wasn't that much longer after that. I get pulled over in the city by a motorcycle cop. And I do the same thing, hands on the wheel. And I announce to him as soon as he comes up to the window, I got a weapon. It's concealed on my right side. He makes me get out of the car, hands above my head, asks me to then pull the weapon out of my holster. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I ain't touching it. You made me get out of my car with my hands above my head. I didn't have to tell you about this motherfucker. So I made him grab it. He grabs it. He takes the magazine out. He racks the slide, takes the bullet out of the chamber, and then proceeds to take all the bullets out of the magazine that's already out of the gun. Puts the gun and the bullets and the magazine in the back of his police bike. Does his little business with me or whatever, and then I'm free to go. But instead of giving me the gun, or no, he gives me the gun, but he gives my wife the bullets.
Huh.
I'm like, are you that fucking paranoid, dude?
Well, he was probably a new police officer. I had the same thing happen to me. Except he put it in my passenger seat and called in another officer. And I'm thinking, you just left me with the firearm, went back to your vehicle to call in another officer. Now, of course, this was in a big city. Yeah, the same thing. But he left the pistol and the magazine fully loaded in the passenger seat. Didn't even check to see if it had one in the pipe. Nor was I going to say anything to him. But it was the same thing. I pulled over. I was lost, and I guess I made a wrong turn, or I made a U-turn. Even though it wasn't posted, he decided to, pull me over and flex his might. So the link I posted there is conspiracy theorists burn 5G towers claiming link to virus. So in London, they're burning the 5G towers because people are buying into the conspiracy theories that the wireless communications pose a threat and the global spread of the virus. The same countries that were rolling out the 5th generation wireless technology has seen some of those false narratives amplified. Officials in Europe are watching the U.S. situation closely and pushing back. Of course, the attacks that undermine vital telecommunication links in a time when we need them most in the pandemic. I'm absolutely outraged, absolutely disgusted that people were taking action against the critical infrastructure that we need to respond to the health emergency, says Stephen Powis, medical director of the National Health Service in England, in early April. Some 50 fires targeting cell phone towers and other equipment have been reported in Britain this month, leading to 3 arrests. Telecom engineers have been abused on the job 80 times, according to the trade group Mobile UK, making the UK the nucleus of attacks Photos and videos documenting the attacks are often overlaid with false commentary about cerveza bug. Some 16 have been torched in the Netherlands with attacks also reported in Ireland, Cyprus, and Belgium. So yeah, people are buying into that conspiracy theory. I'll post that link again. Stan says that fucker bit me. I had to go get a hep vaccine. Well, I would have beat his ass just for that. You know, I probably would have threw a few elbows into his brain housing group. He also was a known IV drug user. Yeah. Probably trying to steal some stuff if you're working security, right? Not the cop, the guy arrested, right? Yeah, if the cop bit you, yeah, that'd be an ass whipping. I don't care if you got a badge or not, that's an ass whipping.
Yeah.
Some of these cops are unbelievable. Yeah, for sure. A lot of it's training. Just like anywhere you go, if they're not properly trained, you're gonna have these idiots. And then you're just gonna have some dudes that are assholes or chicks or dudes or whatever the fuck they identify as. But training, I've seen many officers that under stress are just calm and cool as a cucumber, especially older officers. But a lot of the newer ones, they got their ass beat in high school or picked on and became officers so they could have some authority. Those are the ones that I have encountered, that think they got to be big shit. And they'll meet their match because somebody won't tolerate that shit. They'll fuck with the wrong person and get the fucking mud hole stomped in their ass. But, for the most part, a lot of the older cops are kosher, or if they were properly trained.
Right.
But then you also have those asshats that, just do what they want to because they got a little badge and other people to back them up. So a cop stopped me one night. I was close to home. He asked if I had any weapons. I said, yeah, I do.
You're
in
the
the skook. We all do. He said, what and where's your weapon? I said, my pistol, my belt.
Shotgun under my back seat, rifle next to it. It's a K-bar in the driver's seat, dagger on the visor, machete under the seat. Handed my papers and walked away.
I had the same thing. Every time I get pulled over, which is not a lot, thankfully, because knock on wood there. But I had a cop pull me over, state police officer, pulled me over out of nowhere. Like I wasn't speeding. I had the cruise control set on the exact speed, and out of nowhere he pulls me over. So I pulled over and put my hands on the steering wheel, turned the light on because it was dark out, and he goes, "Hey, where'd you go to boot camp at?" I was like, oh, "You pulled me over, fucker, for that?" And I was like, so he just wanted to talk. He was bored, I guess. I was like, "You scared the shit out of me for no reason, bro." I was like, "I should get out and kick the shit out of you." And he just laughed. But he was a Marine as well. So, and then the next time I had a cop pull me over. It was another state police officer. And he was a dick. He came up. I handed my ID out the window and had my light on and stuff. And in Indiana, they automatically, their system shows if you're concealed carry. So he goes, "Do you have any weapons in the vehicle?" I was like, "Yes, sir." I was like, "I have all kinds of weapons." He's like, "Well, where are they located at?" I was like, Walter, I didn't give him the exact locations. I was like, everything's a weapon. You've seen the plates. Or you run my plates and I'm a Marine. So everything's a weapon, sir. And he goes back to the car. He comes back, doesn't give me a ticket or anything. He's like, "All right, have a good evening." So I just tell him right out the gate, everything's a weapon. I could kill you with the number 2 pencil or my new fancy stainless steel straw, and usually they're okay with it.
Right.
Except for like I said, the young officer that pulled me over in Indianapolis. He was scared to death because I had a firearm. I told him the same thing. He was not too happy about it, but he called in his sergeant, and the sergeant was, pretty funny. But
these are the people who went to become a cop because they wanted to be the person in charge. They didn't want to have to fear for their lives.
Right.
So now all of a sudden they're a cop and they've got all this power and they got the gun and they got the badge and oh shit, they're dealing with somebody who also has a gun, but they don't have a badge. They didn't go through the rigorous police training that I had to go through.
Which
I
is
watched
not
hours of police academies
which
over
is
and over
not
again.
which is not rigorous at all. Our old sheriff, he's gone now. He went on to bigger, better things. But he was a tier 1 operator, and he really did a outstanding job of training the guys. The new guy's a fucking douchecock, but you know, the old sheriff was a damn fine person. And he trained them correctly, and you know, it wasn't just watch videos. He taught them, you know, pressure under fire. He taught them all that great stuff, you know, and so a lot of them are great because of that. And I think that's what, you know, if you want to train them like military, then you need to have somebody that's been in the military like that and train them right, not train them to take people's rights or overstep their bounds and, you know, get trigger happy just because you got a little antsy. So I got pulled over as a kid and had my pistol on me. Cop wanted my pistol during the stop for his safety. He didn't know about my pistol in the seat console. Don't ever expect there's only right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, everything's a weapon. I mean, hell, if you take a box cutter, which they did on the planes when they hijacked them for 9/11, I mean, that's considered an assault weapon, right? Because you used it in assault. So it's not. Yeah, everything's a weapon, man. I mean, realistically, you can turn anything into a weapon. I mean, fuck, the number one used thing for many years in the FBI crime lab was a hammer. People killed more people with hammers than guns killed people. So the sad part is, honestly, I don't know how many guns are in the car. Damn. Mobile armory there says guns.
And people think I have too many guns. Bullshit. I don't have that many guns. I don't have any in the car right now. I mean, the only time there's guns in the car is if I'm in the car.
One of the professors at the police academy got caught for DUI and evading. Wow. Yeah, you'll see that occasionally. We've had that happen too. And then they try to say, "Hey, I'm a cop too," and most of the time they get turned in. I'd say a good 99% of the time, because you're making them look bad. If it's in your hometown, they might take you home. But you should, if you're in your hometown and you're drunk, you should probably call one of your buddies that's on duty and have them take you home instead of driving. Got back to her position before she got arrested. Laugh out loud, says Stan. Or no, wait. Yep, no, Stan. Still kept her job. Oh, the police officer that was DUI and evading? Damn. Got back to home base. Shit, they'd have 30 cops out there if it was somebody else. That's a felony. It's a felony in the United States to fleeing and evading.
Oh, they make anything they want a felony, don't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, what more to take your rights away? The more people they have that don't have rights, you can't even vote, I think, with a felony, right? Unless you get it expunged. Assault by means of deadly weapon, says Eastwind Farms. The thing is I transport them and then I sit crap on top of them and go back. Yeah. I mean, if you've seen my vehicles, people stare in the back of my car whenever I have the trunk open to load groceries in it. It's around 5 plus a rifle. Well, I carry body armor and everything in the vehicle. Every vehicle has body armor and a rifle. At some point, I'm I don't have enough to put in all my vehicles, but I'll trade it out if I'm going to take a different vehicle. Police unions, much like teachers unions, are the problem, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, a union is there to protect you, but if you break the law, you still. I mean, you're not above the law if you're the law. Yeah. I don't believe in that shit.
You need a different agent. I don't know. You don't need another agency, but you shouldn't be policing yourself. There should not be an internal investigation. You know what I mean?
When I was a kid living in Vermont, came to New Jersey to visit family and forgot my loaded revolver in the seat cover. Got stopped and searched. The cop put his hand right on it. So in my
There's
Finish
a
that
limit
up
on
there.
how many characters you can type.
Oh, okay.
So having to copy and paste the rest of that.
The unions are too powerful. Yeah, I mean, look at the companies. My father worked for a company out of Indy, and they made the diesel engines for all the military vehicles, tanks included. And because they would not disband the union, they moved it to Mexico, and essentially ended his job. And they said he can move to Mexico, which we weren't doing. To finish up with his 20. Well, I think he was over there. He was there over 20 years, but they gave him a great severance package. But they moved to Mexico to make diesel engines for our military. So there you go. That's fucked up. Creepiest cold killer voice asked if everything was okay. I was standing right behind him, and he got real spooked and got in his car and left. Oh, Walter Davis scared him. That's funny.
Yeah.
You're lucky you didn't get like.
Well, at least he knows he looks like a serial killer.
Did you have on your?
Earlier today.
Did you have your mask and your glasses and your hoodie and your hat on? Teachers Union here owns a stadium where the Toronto Raptors play, and the team amongst many other holdings. Damn. So they have their own credit union and stuff too.
Oh crap!
To help fund all that, Stan.
Yeah, we don't pay teachers enough money apparently to indoctrinate our kids. But
I mean, we still have prayer in school. They still say the Pledge of Allegiance here. Yeah, so like
I can't believe the prayer part. That's
right.
amazing.
Yeah, they have prayer. They have prayer meetings and stuff. I mean, it's the real deal here. So that's why my kids go to public school here, because they still have those values. Now there's some sketchy shit that I go yell at the teachers over, but no, scary clothes. You were wearing scary clothes. Holdings for their pension funds. Huh. I'll be damned. So they invested it into a stadium to pay the. Well, I mean, hey, that's good investment, I guess. But yeah, the unions have a lot of power. So I don't know. That's why, like I said, that a lot of businesses will close up. I don't see the schools going out of business, but a lot of businesses closed up and moved away because of the unions. So
yeah.
Amongst many other things, many of them are quite nefarious. I knew a big word, nefarious. Not a time to go. Not a time to go into ATM.
ATM can be.
Oh yeah, not a time on the.
Not a time to go into at the moment. Yeah.
Right. The stadium. I moved to Vermont because I had a real shit reputation with the cops at home. Oh. Well, I mean, you can only tolerate so much ignorance. I mean, hell, whenever I was a kid, the cops were selling weed out of the cop car. Not all of them, but there was. You knew which one's done it. They would pull people over. You could watch them. I mean, shit. I lived in a town, not even a city, a town. And you knew the cops that sold weed because they would take it from the drug dealers who they knew sold weed. They would pull them over, take their shit, and then they'd be back on the block selling it within an hour.
Yep, nothing dirty here going on, fellas.
Right. And everybody knew. So, yeah. And that went on for years. Holdings. They have holdings in vaccine companies. Teachers do. Damn. East Wind Farms is laughing at, I believe, Walter Davis. Because he was had a real shit reputation. Yeah, I mean they know when there's
you know the cops on a first name basis, you need to move.
Yeah. Well, I say that, and my buddy's a cop.
Yeah.
He was here for one of the chats vaguely. He sat down there and didn't want to show himself in case he, too much. Cops here had cases of beer called Drop'ems. They'd raid the teen drinking parties and collect all the various beers.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's funny. It's funny. Yep. And now you know why teachers push vaccines. They make bank. Damn. That's a conflict of interest to me. I mean, that'd be like, them owning a food company and selling it to the schools. So East Wind Farms. Hey, East Wind, do you start anything in a greenhouse? I don't know if I've asked you that yet or not. I know you're up north, right? Northeast. You already have all your plants started? Because I have really essentially only a week left. Probably won't put stuff out without row covers until Mother's Day, but that's just an old wives' tale that we've always went by. Of all the kids I raised, I knew one would go bad and become a cop. Right. Well, do you have one that's a cop, Walter? And then I thought thought maybe you had two, but one was in Pennsylvania. Or maybe I always mess that up because you have a lot of kids because he's adopted kids and.
Right. He's a saint over here.
In New Hampshire, nothing yet. No greenhouse and too cold outside. Okay. Have you thought about? I know Walter talked about it, but he left the windows somewhere else. Doing cold frames. I'm actually getting ready to do today. I'm gonna dig out a spot for a root cellar, and then beside the root cellar, I'm gonna put in a essentially an in-ground greenhouse. One is Reading City Cop. He's a great guy. Says Walter. Yeah, I knew one of them was, but I thought maybe there was a two. New Hampshire, even further north than I am. Damn, Stan's in Canada, and, and East Wind Farms is farther north than him. I'll be damned.
Yeah, New Hampshire, that's up there.
I'd also like to put in a tornado shelter. I just got to figure out which one of my priorities need to come first. I need the root cellar first, but I can go ahead and dig that out, and I'm going to leave a dirt floor in it, and just put footers in, and then build the block wall as the summer progresses, so that I don't have to spend an entire couple weeks on it. In the earthen greenhouse, I'm going to go ahead and dig that out as well. That should go fairly quickly. But the tornado shelter, I guess I could use the root cellar, but I want to have it closer to the house. So,
Right.
So I have to build 3 structures, I guess. I'm only a couple hours from Detroit, Windsor, and Sarnia, Port Huron borders. Okay, so I came across that bridge in Detroit many years ago. Funny story. I came across the bridge to come to Canada to gamble. So I no problems going across, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I tried to come back into the United States, the United States Border Patrol were pricks and said just because I had a military ID did not mean I was a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, because you at that time you didn't need a passport to go up there. And so like he gave me a lot of shit about it. I was like, well, how about this? I'll have my command call you and fucking ream out your asshole. Okay. I was like, because they won't tolerate that stuff. And I'm telling you right now, you won't have a job after this is over because, I mean, seriously, you wouldn't. If you just look, I had a driver's license. I had all the, proper paperwork. And this guy was just being a douche about it. And I was like, well, how about this? Because he's like, well, what would your command think about you talking about me like that? I was like, if Sergeant Major come up here, your asshole would be big enough you could park a Freightliner in it, buddy. So yeah, you might not want to be a douche. I had 351 Windsor in one of my cars, East Wind Farms. Hell yeah, I had a 351 Windsor, 351 Windsor, and an F350 4-wheel drive monster truck, and it was fantabulous. I wish I still had that truck. It was fun to play with. It always broke. I always broke shit in it, but it was fun to play around it. You went to Windsor Casino. Yep, been there, says Stan. Yeah, it was really screwed up. I got really
Did you
wasted.
go to the Windsor Casino with a 351 Windsor?
No, no, East Wind Farm. But the Windsor Casino, yeah, that's where I went. I got really messed up, and yeah, I ended up staying there in a hotel with some female companionship, and woke up and I forgot to take my contacts out, and they were glued to my eyeballs. So that was a hell of a trip trying to drive back across that bridge and then dealing with the idiot on the United States side trying to come back in the United States. I was already pissed off because I couldn't open my eyes up. It looked like I was high. So yeah, yeah, it was a fun trip though. A fun trip. We went up there for Hot Import Nights in Detroit, and then after the show was over, put the car on the trailer and left it and went to Canada for a fun night. And then I almost didn't get back in the United States.
Yeah, we kind of had that issue when we were driving the truck. Getting into Canada was easy. It was always coming back into the United States. Like, I had gone into Mexico and come back into the U.S. from there. That's easy. But for some reason, they're very wary of Canadians.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like we had gone to Mexico, and I'd been to Mexico my whole life. I mean, growing up in Arizona, you go to Mexico once in a while, And my whole life going to Mexico and coming back is easy as all hell. They just look in your car, ask you if you bought any, vegetables or fruits or whatever. You say no. They check to make sure you're not bringing in fireworks or whatever, But other than that, it's easy. But Canada, yeah, when we came back into Canada, there was like 1,000,000,001 questions. They wanted to see all of our IDs. So it was just funny to me that I think they trust Mexicans more than they trust Canadians.
Yeah, why is that? Is there a lot of smuggling that comes out of Canada?
I don't know. I would have thought it would have been the other way around because, you always hear, well, Americans are going up to Canada to take advantage of the free healthcare, No, but I guess not. I don't know what would Canadians come down to the U.S. to take advantage of.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe Stan can say something on that one, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of smuggling both ways, he says. Okay.
And what the hell would you smuggle out of Canada? Are they like the largest?
Canadian bacon.
I'm being serious. Like, is there like,
socialist pharmaceuticals?
All right.
can we go to Canada to get HGH or something or steroids? I mean, I know you can do that in Mexico. East Wind Farm says I retire in a year. After that, I don't foresee myself leaving my state for any reason. A lot of smuggling, says Stan. Mostly Toronto's gangs get their guns from across the border.
Oh, yeah. It was the funniest thing. I remember the first time I went to Wisconsin. Right. I'm living there. I lived there for 10 years. But when I first got there, they were talking about all the gang problems in Milwaukee. Now, I grew up in Arizona. I grew up near California, so I know about a little bit of something about the Crips and the Bloods, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also grew up white and watching TV, so I know about Happy Days and where that was filmed. That was filmed in Milwaukee, bro. Or took place in Milwaukee. I don't know where it was filmed. And so, they're talking about gangs in Milwaukee, and the first thing I'm thinking is like, okay, is this like some sort of Fonzie wannabe gang? They were like, no, it's real serious, it's real bad. Like, okay.
Good morning to Alpine DZ13. He says poutine. I don't think I want any of that. That's poutang, but not poutine. East Wind Farms laughed and said, I was going to say that. Quebec is a different monster, says Stan. Huge mafia city? Damn.
Yeah, so when you think about Canadian gangsters, oh, I could see John Candy playing a role in that if he was still around.
Walter says there's a lot of grow houses and old school buses and trailers just north of the border. Oh, well, I mean, if they just decriminalize marijuana or all drugs, God would sort itself out real quick. But just weed in general, it's like growing parsley and shit. I mean, really, it is. It's just it's a flower, and just because you can smoke it doesn't. I mean, look at the ban on kratom. That helped a lot of people, but it really hurts big pharma. I mean, Colorado's made a success out of it. And now you get pulled over and get a weed test to see if you're driving intoxicated versus just driving with alcohol. But I mean, common sense has to prevail and shit like that. If you're taking any kind of mind-altering drugs, you probably shouldn't be driving.
Right.
Or operating heavy machinery. I mean, hell, it even says that on pharmaceuticals. So put the same label on weed and make it legal. You know I'm preaching to the choir, I know, but how many problems would that solve? The war on drugs has been going on for 20, 30 years and accomplished jack shit.
On that?
I know.
They're making so much money on that. If they said that the war on drugs was over tomorrow and they were going to legalize everything, I'd be worried. I wouldn't be joyous. I'd be like, okay, how are they now going to make up for the revenue that they just lost? Well, because they're not going to just give that up.
If you cost comparison of how much they spend on it versus how much they actually get in return, I mean, come on now.
I don't know. They got those laws now where if you're just transporting cash, they can take it thinking that you're going to do a drug deal without any proof at all. There was that one father-son that was going to go buy some land, had a couple $1 million in cash to make the payment, and they just now, I guess, got their money back. But, I mean, that was years and years and years of fighting the system just because they decided to take cash with them. There's that, right? Then there's they make a bust, and you see these big drug, all the drugs they found in the bus. What do they do with that? They burn it? I don't know. I think they give that to the pharmaceutical companies who buy it at a really cheap price, so they get money. And then there goes all your ibuprofens and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's a big market into it.
Stan says Montreal is a huge mafia city, a port city as well. It has links to a lot of New York City. So, cilantro should be illegal, right? I mean, yeah, all that. I mean, that's essentially what they're saying. Just like the poppy leaf, it's legal to grow in the United States, but if they catch you cutting it to get the latex out to make an opioid, if you don't have a big pharma license, they're going to arrest you for manufacturing. Toronto and Vancouver have a lot of different race gangs. Triads are number one, really. Triads, is that a Japanese gang there, Stan?
Yeah.
Walter, it's legal to grow here. They're starting to move toward legalization. Where the class I was supposed to take in March was canceled on hemp because of the cerveza bug, but I just got an email yesterday saying that we're going to do it virtually. So we'll have that class through Purdue University, and then we'll be allowed to grow hemp here real soon, hopefully. Every house can grow 4 plants. Yeah, I mean, see, that's 4 plants, recreational grow, 25 if you have a medical card. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. That's 100%. And if that's what you want to do, then do it, man. I mean, I'm not against that. I feel like that now that uh, Trump has signed the whatever it takes to try if you're dying stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like things might move forward with that. But it's all politics. All they need to do is find growers. Is look for a crappy old house trailer with a satellite dish on top and a brand new truck parked. Right? Yeah. Yeah. You can't advertise if you're a drug dealer. The funniest thing around here is you'll drive around at night. Well, I do, and you'll see people. They'll be in their garages, but in the back part of the garage, they have a false wall, and the light will be, the grow light will be shining through the cracks and stuff. And I'm thinking, you guys are fucking idiots. You might want to do something like put Mylar bags or something up all around it. Mini grow houses are rented legally in nice homes to stand. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I mean, it's like making illegal alcohol. Alcohol illegal. I'm sorry.
The only reason it's illegal is because somebody said it was. It doesn't mean it's a bad
There's
thing.
there's still places in the United States that are dry counties that don't allow alcohol in the county. So there's no liquor stores there. That's fucking retarded. Because they're just gonna go. That's taking money out of your county, for one. Two, it's just retarded. Now that's just a few in the last few years, says Walter. Um, I'm sure now they're cooking meth. Yeah, that's some bad shit. Bad juju. Chinese, the oldest mafia in the world, is the Triad. Okay, I didn't know. Sorry, I'm
I
not
know
up
I've
on my
seen it in
mafias.
movies. That's
I'm not up.
why.
Yeah, I'm not up on my mafia. Italian mafia maybe, or Irish mob, stuff like that. But huge Sikh gang population in British Columbia. The Sikhs are gangbangers. Damn. That's what most people confuse in the United States as Islamic terrorists is the Sikh population because they wear the turbans, which is totally retarded. You need to know your enemy before you stand. These guys would harvest, move it within 26-foot U-Haul trucks full of bricks of marijuana. Great. Yeah, many nice homes here would get wrecked by groups that would rent homes to grow. That doesn't make any sense. I guess you're making enough money that you don't have to, or they're growing it illegally. Das! Hold on a second. Carry on that conversation.
Yeah. Now people grow their own or go to the government dispensary. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the whole you're limited to that many plants. It's an all or nothing kind of thing. I think freedom is a state of mind. It's not what the government will or will not allow. The government can say all it wants that you can't grow a plant. Well, if you're truly free in your own state of mind, you'll do what you want to do. If you get caught, you have to understand that you will also then go to jail. But that's part of being free in your mind, right? So I've been getting closer and closer to that and trying to practice that more and more. Of like not getting all bent out of shape with the new gun law or whatever. And if I got busted for a certain device that I was supposed to get rid of, that would make me a felon, and I wouldn't be able to own a firearm. Because to be honest, if I ever get busted for being a felon, I know I'll have firearms because there's many ways around it. And they're trying to close that, but I don't care because at that point it's a state of mind. Freedom is a state of mind. Anyway.
Sorry about that. We had
No problem.
a new postal worker, and the dogs went crazy. Yeah. On that point, they did that in Australia, and people are still making them and getting them. All you need is a file, essentially, in steel, and you can make anything you want. It's easier to make a fully automatic weapon because it doesn't require all the extra parts. Just look at all the third world countries that still make. Like, I did a video on that back when everybody was going crazy. It's one of my crazy videos where I showed 1,000 guns that people had made in their homes out of shit. I mean, are you gonna make it illegal to have welders, files? No. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Now people grow their own.
Try to be free.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Really? I mean, really? What do you? I mean, it's just phenomenal. You can build anything with a file. How do you think blacksmiths done this shit back in the day? Hammer forged barrel came from where? A blacksmith. You think in the Civil War, they made that shit in factories? No, I mean they make a lot of that stuff in the backwoods. Some of it was manufactured, right? But it was all made by craftsmen. Still to this day, you can buy tube steel. Mark Serbu, Serbu Firearms, will sell you the plans for it to make a sheet metal pistol, completely legal. Now, once you manufacture it, you're supposed to put a stamp on it to market, but
the government,
what
state you're in, and if
right.
you want to follow it, right? Because certain states will say that you have to do that. Apparently, here in Arizona, a lot of people think that you're supposed to put a serial number on it. You don't. I did my own research on that, and there is no law of that. Even if there were, though, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't for that reason. I might do it for my own reason, just for sentimental, because there was one project that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a yin and yang, kind of a matching set of something, so there'd been two of it. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to get, because you can put whatever you want on there as far as serializing it and shit. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do it like a sequential, because like if you ever looked on Gunbroker or whatever, see some of these really high dollar things, it's like sequential pistols, and it's the serial numbers like one off of each other. So that'd be kind of cool, but I don't know. I think that's the only way I'd actually serialize it. Other than that, they could kiss my ass.
I mean, the only reason to serialize it is in case it gets stolen.
Yep.
or put some kind of marking on it so that you can claim it if it gets sold at a pawn shop. I mean, that's realistically what it is. In my opinion.
But I mean, they try to make laws. There's a couple states that allow you to make your own gun, but then they want you to serialize it and register it. All right, so like in California, if you make, I don't even know if you can do it anymore, but back in the day when I looked into this, you could make an 80% lower in California, but you had to get it registered and made sure that it wasn't got all the features of an assault weapon, California legal AR kind of thing.
Yeah. So Stan says the government was stupid. They should have just decriminalized and taxed the growing supplies. Yeah, I mean, there's ways around it. Eastwind Farm says whenever he went to Fort Knox when he was in the Marines, was a dry county. I think the county, even where Jack Daniels is made, is a dry county.
Yeah.
Right. It's dumb as fuck. Also, you must have been a tank Bubba, right, Eastwind? Or what did you go to Fort Knox just to go there? Sorry if that's prying too much information you don't want to share. I understand. They're still out
competing. It's over my head. So.
They were still not out competing the black market here. They gave licenses to legalize marijuana or mafia. And okay. As a balancer, I've seen more fights from alcohol and virtually none from weed. Well, yeah, nobody.
Yes, you're not getting upset over that. You want to share your weed.
Yeah, let's get the bag of chips and the Taco Bell and just sit around and chill. Might be a fight in the chip aisle. Right. Okay, Eastwind says he's 0311, and he was only there for a week. Yeah. I didn't even know that they what did you guys do, like a combined exercise or something, CAX? We did ours in 29 stumps.
So is
California.
The gold still there?
Oh no, there's signs all over the fence that says you're not allowed to take pictures. Even though you'll see people driving by taking pictures of. I just go there to watch the cool ass helicopters that they got, the new stuff usually there. They're getting ready to turn it into, I guess, the Central Command. I think it's what I read in Military Times. But, you know, you go there for the PX and stuff like that. For non-military members, that's the post exchange. They, you know, everything's tax-free, duty-free there. So they have a GNC there. And, of course, you can go buy other things there. Yeah, just a little group training. Yeah, the tank battalions and shit they have there is phenomenal, man. They got these big concrete things set up, and like they got parking lots for the tanks, right? And they'll, like, when they're training the tanks, I like to go there and watch, and they'll fire at these fucking targets off in the middle of nowhere in this field, and it's phenomenal how you know accurate the tanks are. Big beasts. Back in the day, when a few Grateful Dead shows, potheads fight, but they just aren't good at it, right? hey, man. Grateful Dead shows.
Wow, that's a throwback, huh?
Yeah. I remember Marilyn Manson. The beautiful people. Probably can't sing that.
Nearly as old as the Grateful Dead.
No, I know. I know, but that's what I went to. Shit like that.
I never went to a Grateful Dead show, but I do remember when they would tour around still. I'd always think, man, that motherfucker gonna go on forever, and I think he did. I mean, they've been touring even without him.
Yeah.
And so it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, I got drugged to many a weird concert. Had to pour a lot of people into cabs, says Stan. When he was being a bouncer, yeah. My buddy was a bouncer at a strip club, and man, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. All the perks of knowing the bouncer, and none of the problems.
That would be a difficult job, man. Having to look at that all day long.
He's like 6'4" and about 400 fucking pounds. There's not a whole lot that stands in his way.
I'm not talking about the physical part of it. I'm talking about having to sit there and watch tits all day long.
Oh yeah, well it gets boring. There's a lot of drama involved with strippers, so you know he tried to avoid it. But yeah, dude, you're crushing my buzz. Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen a fight when people were smoking weed. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have.
Not alone, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe if they were alcohol or doing uppers and smoking weed. See a lot of weird shit in the strip bar bouncer. Yeah. Oh man, it was fun. Yeah, like I don't even want to tell stories. But the shit that you see, yeah. And of course, you know, I was always down to hang out. Whenever he needed, you know. I was like a what do they call that? Deputized bouncer, even though I didn't work there.
Oh yeah.
The worst part was
today.
Yeah, the worst part was you know, girls that we went to school with would work there, and they would want you to protect them, and I'm like, well, that, you know, to a certain extent, like they would want you to protect them from other strippers. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
They're conniving. A lot of them are conniving. I'm 6'4", 270.
Dude.
Yeah, my buddy, he's huge.
Girls are conniving as it is, let alone those are young girls. Yeah.
18, 19 years old. Yeah, that's. But there was a lot of older women there too. But it wasn't like the stripper movie that J-Lo did. You know, they weren't out to help each other out. They were all against each other. But yeah, my buddy, he's probably, I don't know if he's 400. He's probably 380 pounds. He's a fucking huge, massive dude. Like, works out a lot. But he's also farm boy. You know, corn-fed farm boy. So he's not real cut up, but. I mean, yeah, there was nothing that shy shooting the guy with a fucking 50 cal. You're not moving him. You know what I'm saying? Most of these little 120 pound guys would roll up in there and run their mouth, and he could pick them up right off the ground and like they were a trash bag. I grew up with a guy who was a serious stoner, deadly karate guy. Watched him stoned as hell dropped 5 guys at a football game wearing his steel your face shirt. Right, and that's something you don't want to underestimate either. Like these little guys these days, honorary doorman, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of stripper fights for sure. Yeah. In Quebec, sell your doorman positions when you leave. You sell them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know a lot of guys like that. Walter, especially jiu-jitsu practitioners, man. My daughter, she's probably every bit of 110 pounds. And I mean, she could just decimate even a guy my size, 300-pound guy. Like she can, she could take you apart. Of course, they've been training jiu-jitsu since they were kids. Not just jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai. I mean, hell, my youngest daughter, I can't show you pictures, but if you ever come and see me, I'll show him. She was probably 7 years old, shooting a AK-47, full size AK-47. So
Nice.
It's all in how you train them. I wanted them to know, they grew up as the Marine. They call them Army brat, but Marine brats. Mm-hmm. So I did jiu-jitsu, McMat. And so I would come home and I'd teach them, so they could protect themselves. And, because if you don't have the ultimate equalizer, the pistol or the rifle, I wanted them to be able to protect themselves. So they all, and we'd sit around and watch them wrestle and do jits right in the living room. It was fun. They still want to do it, but now they're all old and they all know that they can. They don't want to waste the exponential energy. So we'll do it every once in a while just to keep up with it. But they don't fight in the living room anymore. They're all getting too old for that. But it's fun. It's not just the size of the package. Watch the guy 5'6", that's about as thin as a rail, jump up and choke. Yeah, well, and that's the problem with nowadays. A lot of people, so that's why I was going with the jiu-jitsu, the jits. Is a lot of people like I said, my daughter, she's super small, but if she gets you in a rear naked choke, shy of breaking her wrist and pulling her off of you, she will choke me out. I mean, seriously, like fucking hardcore. Jiu-jitsu is not to be fucked around with. Now my boys do more. They do jiu-jitsu too, but they do they like Muay Thai because my buddy, his dad is was the Muay Thai kickboxing champion in Thailand, and so once they met him and then they met his father, it was over. They wanted to learn how to kick telephone poles in half. So yeah, my oldest son came to me the other day and he's like, we need to put medical tape on the bag, and I was like, why? He's like, this big gash in my leg. I was like, oh, you kicked the seam, didn't you? Oh. Yeah. So Andy was about 6'2", 110 pounds, white guy with a big fro, looked like a stoner from Fast Times Ridgemont High. All right, later, Eastwind. Have a great day, sir.
See you, Eastwind.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not a whole lot. These days, you could pick on a small guy, but if they know jiu-jitsu, it don't matter how big you are. And the big musclehead guys won't fight you because, they'll tear their tendons and stuff because a lot of those bodybuilders have, it's hard on them to actually fight you. They're
all tight up.
Muscly, yeah. Rip tendons and stuff. You
don't see a lot of them doing the splits, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them only train bodybuilding too. So those fast muscle movements like that will separate their biceps and shit. So yeah, it'd be pointless. But that's why I included that old boy was a farm boy, because you don't just work out and I mean he lifted weights, but he also slung hay on the farm and did a lot of farm work. So one guy I worked with was king of the single knockout shot. Dude was quick, and hard and right on the money. Knocked him out first shot every time. Yeah, that's if you know where to hit somebody and you can hit them hard enough, yeah, I mean, nobody's impervious to the knockout.
Right.
Most people don't even see it coming. But that's why they teach in jiu-jitsu to get close to them and start tearing them apart. You don't ever want to stand out there and take punches. Boxing
you don't want to have enough room to swing, man. You gotta shorten that up so they can't take you out in that one shot.
Close the gap and take them to the ground and pound the shit out of their forehead. Like old Ken Shamrock, man. I miss those days when Ken was like, now all the rules and stuff. He still comes out and tries to fight. But, there was nothing like the old Ken Shamrock taking you to the ground, pinning you down, and headbutting you until you blacked out. They were out before they hit the ground. A little guy. Size matters in some things. But when you're messing with drunks, and you could sling hay around all day long, big corn-fed farm boy grabbing you up by the collar and taking you out.
You never know, man. Something about how
Yeah.
much fight is in them, not
I always hated little guys because they're fast.
They might not hit hard, but it stings after a while.
Well,
I hated those too, man. It pissed me off because when I was in school and getting bullied or whatever, it was the little kids that pissed me off the most. First of all, hard to fucking catch, and they knew it, and they take advantage of it, right? So, being a slow, fat guy, if I catch you, you're fucked, right? And they knew that, so they'd have to keep it quick. But I'm like a fucking elephant at the time. I'll wait. I'll wait a week. Eventually, you ain't gonna be ready, and I'm gonna grab your ass, and then shit's gonna get real. And shit would get real, and then I'd get in trouble for beating up this little helpless thing that he's just so small, and you're so big. Why would you do that? Because you didn't see what he was doing for 3-4 weeks before that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I hated boxing. They taught it in the Marine Corps, but before that, my cousins always wanted to box, and I wrestled. I did Greco-Roman and collegiate wrestling in high school, and I was like, why would you want to stand there and let somebody punch you? I'm slow as fuck when it comes to that, but boy, I can step in there and rip your legs out from underneath of you and take you to the ground and beat the living shit out of you. And most of the fights I got into in school were like that. They'd want to stand there and box you, and I wasn't about that. I mean, I'd take you down, put you in a rear naked choke, and you'd be out, bro. I mean, every time. But them little dudes, they'd hit you fucking 15 times before you got a hold of them. And then once you got a hold of them, they didn't want any more. No, because they knew they
cried, and you looked like the bad guy. Yeah.
I'd always let them go after I knocked them out and just walk away.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, there's nothing like waking up on the floor and wondering what the fuck happened, whether it be getting knocked out by a punch or somebody choking you till you blacked out. So as soon as they went limp, I just get up and walk away. I tore a kid's fucking groin one time, putting him in a banana splits. Ooh. I got him to the ground, and he was squirrely as fuck, and he wouldn't quit. So I grabbed hold of both legs, wrapped my other legs around it, and just laid back all the way flat. Tore his groin muscle loose. But I walked out of class, and he hit me fucking twice in the fucking face before I even knew what was going on. So I was like, oh, no. I've been knocked out twice and had my belt. Yeah, me too. Once was with a baseball bat. Well, twice was with a baseball bat. One when I was younger, a guy hit me, and one when I was a little older, hit me in the head with a bat. Knocked me out from behind. Didn't want to go, toe to toe. So they got me from behind.
How brave was that? You got a bat and it's from behind.
Well, the one boy, I damn near killed him. I mean, he turned as blue as fucking Papa Smurf, and if my cousins wouldn't have dragged me off of him, I probably would have fucking killed him. But we were playing baseball, and I was walking back to the pitcher's mound, and he just decided he was going to charge me and hit me in the back of the fucking grape with a fucking bat. And I woke up and I was pissed. And he was standing there laughing, and I was like, oh, I swooped the legs, and down he went, and good night it was. Pissed all over himself, and then walked home crying. But my cousins had me by the feet, dragging me away from him while I still had him in the fucking rear naked choke. Just dragging. They were dragging him and me. Yeah. Once in rugby. Yeah, we didn't have rugby. I'd like to play rugby.
Yeah, I've seen it played. I don't know the rules or anything. I know it's a little,
It's way more cooler than fucking football.
It's like baseball,
but I guess it's called football.
No,
rugby is football.
Cricket, rugby, yeah, rugby is like more violent than regular football. Yeah.
Yep, I've had it many times. Fucking yeah, I don't. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see football. Yeah, it's a. They call it. Don't they call it football in Canada, Stan? Sorry for my. I'm not a sports fan. I don't do a whole lot of. Yeah, I used to be till Jose Canseco fucking T-boned his wife after he won the World Series. And then I lost all respect for the sport. And never watched baseball or anything again like that. I mean,
I started
religiously.
losing respect for that when they would bitch about not getting paid enough. I'm like, I'm already watching Millionaires. But at the time, I was like, I guess. I mean, the owners are making a lot more, and they could spread the wealth around. But then they're bitching about standing up for the national anthem, and that was it. That was the last straw. I'm like, I'm already watching Millionaires and Billionaires play, and have to hear about all their social justice issues that they have no idea how the world actually works because they get paid to play a fucking game. And now you're gonna disrespect the country that made this happen for you. Fuck you. Yeah, I was done.
The wife is sending me stuff with the 9-cent Easter baskets that are left over from Easter that weren't purchased. They're 9 cents at Walmart, and people are taking those and buying potting soil and drilling holes in the buckets, and using them to plant stuff in. It's just a great idea. It's a really cheap. I usually save the black plastic buckets. I know this is far from what we were talking about.
That's
choking
fine.
people out and stuff, but she just sent me that, and so like there you go. If you guys got a Walmart or any place that has Easter baskets left over, get those, drill them out, and put your potting soil in them, and that's a hell of a fucking planter that you could probably use more than once. What is Riddle Girl whispering? Rugby is like football in the gaining ground, but you carry the ball.
I saw that there was too many tomato plants growing in one hole, so I dug them up, and I've got 5 more. I replanted 2, and I've still got 5 more little sprouts that I need to plant somewhere. So it's a
water
good problem
bottles,
to have.
Water bottles, old cups, anything. You can plant them in anything. I mean, really, just as long as you have the holes in it. You guys know that's preaching to the choir to you guys. Plant them in anything that do you have any soil?
Yeah.
That you can put in? Yeah, just put them in something. And then once they get a little bigger, you can just transplant them back in the ground. Like I said, I like to use the cardboard, but it's easier. It doesn't have any transplant shock. It doesn't have any transplant shock if you have them in a paper container or something.
And then I've got these 5 that are
5 more tomato plants.
Just going crazy.
Hell yeah.
Oh, fuzzy and everything.
Yeah, they're little babies. You're growing babies. I usually sometimes I put 1 seed, sometimes I get 2, but I have a little seed thing. It's like a little green thing, and you put the seeds in it, and then you could shake it and open the sizes to different size seeds. Is that what is that white thing back there? Is that a sprinkler?
You want to tell them what the white thing is, huh?
Oh, that is a PVC pipe with holes in it, and it's going to be our lettuce grower. I just planted some seeds in there yesterday. Russ put the holes in it, and we packed it full of potting soil. And it's going to grow our lettuce since they have shallow roots. They can grow in a vertical like that. So I thought I'd give it a shot and see how it goes.
Awesome. way to think outside the box. That's ingenious. I like it. I have.
There's our spinach.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Our spinach has adult leaves finally, which is really cool.
Awesome. The wife wants me to make a vertical garden for the strawberries so that you don't have to get them off the ground. So that's on my list to do too. We bought some guttering to do that with, some white guttering. So I'm going to do that in the next couple days because I have 36 strawberry plants. But I've never heard of the lettuce vertical. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to try that. I got some big 6-inch.
Yeah.
I got 6-inch PVC, so I definitely want to try that. Is it romaine or is it head lettuce?
This is butter crunch, but it doesn't matter. You can plant any lettuce in there, so they say on Pinterest.
Yeah, this is a Pinterest idea, I guess.
Oh, I can't go on Pinterest. I find all kinds.
Put another one on the other side of the garden, and then we have this sunshade, and we're going to use the PVC that's growing the lettuce to also be our post for our tent, basically, of the sunshade.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sun is going to kill our tomato plants if we don't put it up.
Yeah, it's getting kind of warm here now.
You guys got a truck, so you could go down and get a $20 cattle panel.
Panel?
Yeah, I'll send you a link to it. I was gonna. That's part of my next upcoming video, but you can get a cattle panel and take and arch it. Since I specifically got this because I figured it would work for you, but you take it and arch it over because they're 16 feet. It'll make an 8-foot arch, and then you can grow beans on it, and they'll shade, or cucumbers or whatever you want, a vining plant, and it'll grow over your garden and provide shade. But it also puts nitrogen back in the soil. Yeah, I was gonna do it. I haven't got a chance to do the video yet, but if you have a tractor
we already have a sunshade thing that we've gotten for it. Now I'm like all curious about this other thing.
Yeah, I did my wife's tomato garden, or her kitchen garden, that way. I built an arch, and over the arch I grow her cold hardy kiwis. So that provides shade too. But you can implement. I grow cucumbers that way. I grow beans, not the bush beans, but the pole beans that way.
I love bush beans.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do tomatoes the same way. I'm going to put up a piece of, it's 16 feet, and if you bend it and put it over top of your bed, then you can grow over top of it, and it'll provide shade for other plants.
Interesting.
All right,
yeah, so I don't know if we're at that level yet, but
it's easy, bro. You don't even have to you just arch it. You don't even have to bend it. But they're 16 feet long, and it's $20, I think. What is here?
Not bad.
So Stan said they had metal cleats. All right, I like metal cleats. We used to play football with metal cleats.
Ooh.
But we played Iron Man football with no pads.
And you stomp on somebody's hand if you don't like them and they're down too long.
Oh, no. I stepped on a dude's head as I was charging through. He fell, and I clipped him in the head. That made for a bloody mess. The only time the ball stops is when the ball is legally carried forward instead of rear toss. Hard to explain. Right. Yeah, no, I've seen it played, but we just never played it here. Great for limited space gardens. Yeah, I like the vertical gardening aspect. I mean, especially if you have a small place, for sure. But I'm going to implement some of it too, just for convenience. So, the wife can go out and pick strawberries without having to get down on her knees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was thinking about making a big workbench kind of grow bed that was on wheels. That would be, at about 4-foot heights, so you don't have to bend over at all. But
just take 55-gallon plastic drums and split them in half with a sawzall or a circular saw.
Right.
And you can put your growing material in there. They already have a hole in them for drainage.
Right.
And then you can move it around. Get you some lawnmower tires or something, or an axle out of a lawnmower. If you can find some scrap lawnmower parts, and all they're held on with is a cotter pin and a washer. You could run that through the table. Do some conduit straps.
Yep.
Was that too much, too fast?
No, I got the idea. I'd probably do caster wheels myself, but I mean, those are great ideas for sure.
That's how they make the chicken tractors here. They take old lawnmowers and take the wheels off them and just put a straight shaft in them. and drill holes in the end of the shaft. If it's not long enough, you can just get a piece of all thread, drill holes through it, and then put the wheel on it, and then you can move the chicken tractor. But it would work great for a mobile table too. And we have, the bigger the tire, the easier it's going to be to push. That's why I'm saying a lawnmower tire or something.
Yeah, especially something that's going to be out in the dirt all the time.
Yeah,
for sure. Shit, I get
make like a giant wheelbarrow
tire.
Yeah, that's same thing, same concept. Yeah. All right, well, it's come to the 2-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen, and I have lots of stuff to do, as well as everyone else. So leave our bitches, moans, complaints, and comments, the final comments, and then we'll get out of here and carry on with the day. Thanks for everybody for showing up today and joining us. Always good information. Always learn from everybody, and hopefully you learn some from us, even if it's our craziness.
We're all over the place, man. Gardening, bouncing.
Right.
Government conspiracies.
Right. And that's the good thing about an open forum chat, where not being moderated.
Yep. Today's events, man. Get out there and do something with your life.
Hell yeah.
Don't take it for granted. I know I'm trying not to. It's hard sometimes, though, man.
Yeah.
You get bogged down the day.
Keep pushing forward, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. All right, well, guys and gals, thanks for watching. I'm Irish USMC Vet. Thumbs up, thumbs down, bitch, moans, complaints. Leave them in the comment section below. That's Poison Stinger. If you want to support us, or if you can't, or share, like the videos, spread them around. And hopefully, we'll grow larger and be able to give stuff back to everybody that's besides knowledge. Maybe give some hard, tangible assets. Poison Stinger wants to give away some silver and stuff, but we got to grow a little bit more. Maybe at 500 we'll do. Maybe at 500 we'll do a giveaway, and then at 1,000 we'll do a bigger giveaway. So, all right, thanks for watching, Walter. Good time for everyone. Stripped and cleaned 2 Kentucky rifles during the chat. Awesome. My wife actually wants me. I found a kit. My wife wants me to build one and put it on the wall for her. For looks, because she likes the way they look. Thanks to Riddle Girl out there. Keep on keeping on. Next time, share more about the vertical gardening, please, because that's awesome. I did not know about the lettuce, so see, we all learned something today from Riddle Girl. Thank you very much. All right, guys and gals, have a great day. Simplify, Godspeed, and do something productive. We'll see you guys and gals tomorrow, God willing. Great day.